Chiefs Kingdom, welcome back to another episode of All Chiefed Up. We're back with another podcast for that ass. And today, we're talking about the Chiefs linked to the Patriots. Are the Chiefs the new Patriots? Everybody loves to hate us, Steve. Let's talk about it.
Before we get the episode started, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. We're trying to get to 25K before the end of the Super Bowl, so please help us out with that. Mike, the Chiefs are the new Patriots.
We are.
We've seen a lot of hate this week.
We are. We've said this before. We said we're the villains now. We've said we're the new Patriots. We are a dynasty. I don't care what anybody says. A dynasty. A dynasty. Let's get into the article because I found this today and I was like, Steve, we got to talk about this. Jay Busby. The Chiefs are the new Patriots, the team everyone loves to hate. Jay Busby, Steve, from Yahoo. Yahoo usually does a lot of crap. That's no good. This article was amazing. Let's look at it.
Let's check it out.
There's a constant, unwavering cycle in American sports. We love you when you're on the way up. We applaud you when you reach the top. We hate you when you stay there too long. Yes. Welcome, Kansas City Chiefs, to the loathing zone. You were a cute story before, but now America is tired of you. Your star quarterback, your teddy bear-looking coach, your celebrity girlfriend, and most of all, your constant presence in the Super Bowl. Congrats, Kansas City. You're the new Patriots. Steve, he could not be speaking any more truth than he is right there. People hate the Chiefs.
Facts. That's all we've been hearing. We've seen it slowly progress too, right? All season long, people were loving the fact that the Chiefs weren't looking that great. They were loving it because this started last year. It started at the beginning of last season or maybe even before that when people started getting sick of the Chiefs. But it is in full swing now. And you can tell by how many grown men get offended by Taylor Swift watching a football game.
Right. We'll get to that in a second. He says, finally, there is, of course, the Taylor Swift thing. This is a perfect case of internet life cycle as you'll ever find. Star gets exposure. People complain about Star's exposure, but keep clicking on stories about said Star. Star gets more exposure. People complain more, but continue to tune in, and on it goes. He cannot be more right. He goes on to say, my serious argument exists against Swift's overexposure. She's the most popular entertainer in the world at the moment, and of course, she's going to draw the camera's eye in every game. Besides, would the Swift haters rather see yet another shot of a team owner celebrating? Who cares if this is all a carefully choreographed production for the cameras, unless and until the cameras on Swift interrupt an actual gameplay, broadcast away, and forget the haters. He then goes on to say, here's the thing with the hate, though. It's not rational, and it doesn't respond to logical arguments. In the abstract, the Chiefs are a joy to watch, led by a quarterback who might already be among the game's all-time greats, the greatest. As long as you're not on the receiving end, it's pretty amazing to see the way they find another gear in the postseason and then use that gear to crumble skulls into the dirt. You just kind of wish it didn't happen so often is all. He lastly says, had the Detroit Lions managed to win Sunday, there would be no doubt the team America would favor in the Super Bowl. The 49ers aren't exactly a hard luck, happy to be here franchise, but if the Chiefs manage to win, expect the Chiefs fatigue to hit new highs in the 2024 season. It's the price of victory in America. That was one of the best articles I've ever read about football from Yahoo Sports, Steve.
It was very eloquently written, and it was very, very true.
Worded like
Mike.
A true gent. Like a
fine gentleman. He worded it so well.
He can't be more accurate.
It's the truth. And it's funny because a lot of people don't want to admit it because they fall into that category of these people that just hate for no reason. It's ridiculous. I mean, the Chiefs have hit that level. It started last year, like I said, but the Chiefs, they get all the calls. The referees are cheating for the Chiefs.
Right. It never is.
The NFL scripted it for the Chiefs because Roger Goodell wants the Chiefs in the Super Bowl because this year Taylor Swift's there and now they can make more money and that's why they want them there. It's always something. No one ever wants to just look themselves in the mirror and be like, Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback to ever play football.
Right.
The Chiefs are a very good team. This is a dynasty. This is an unprecedented run that this team is on, and I should appreciate being able to watch it.
Hey,
they can't do it.
If you don't want to see us in the Super Bowl, beat us. How about that? I've got a wild suggestion. Actually put your big boy and girl pants on and beat us. But they can't do it. They can't do it when the lights come on.
You know what they can do?
It happens.
When the lights come on, they can shit the bed right there in front of America and lose to the Chiefs again.
I guess so. I'll say this. Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes, that has been a big argument over the past few weeks. Well, we've actually seen what they've done through their playoff games.
Let's take a look.
17 playoff games for Mahomes compared to Brady's
like
48.
the first 6 seasons?
No, this is going to actually be their entire career. Do you know in their entire career, 48 games for Brady, 17 for Mahomes. Mahomes at this point has 5% more passer completion percentage. He's only behind in yards by like 9,000. He's already got 4,800 in his first 17 career games.
Just 9,000. That's 2 seasons worth.
Well, I'm just saying he's already got 4,800 in just 17. So he's already accumulated that. His touchdowns are not that far behind. He's only behind 48 touchdowns. And again, it's 17 games to 48. His interceptions are monumentally lower. Brady threw 40 picks in 48 games. Patrick Mahomes threw 7 in 17. The QB rating for Mahomes, way higher. Everything about it is way higher. And if you look at just the first 6 seasons, he has 14 wins to Brady's 12. The only thing Brady has is the 3rd Super Bowl ring, in which Mahomes could grab this season and will grab this season in about 13 days, 12 days, something like that.
He's going to go get it. Patrick Mahomes is on a mission. And if you haven't noticed that yet in these playoffs, I don't know what you've been watching, because he's had to go through an absolute gauntlet on the road to get to this Super Bowl with what people say is his worst team so far as a pro. You talk about the Brady comparisons, and of course they get brought up, rightfully so, because Mahomes is in that conversation for best to ever do it already. But you can only look at a section of time. Patrick Mahomes has only started for 6 years.
Right. That's all you have to compare.
You can't pull off a 20, 25-year career of Tom Brady and put all the accolades together and be like, well, he ain't this.
Right. They expected him to do that in 6 seasons.
Of course he's not. It's yet to be seen if he will reach those accolades, but he's still the Michael Jordan of the NFL. I'll say that. Patrick Mahomes is the Michael Jordan of the NFL. Yeah. Tom Brady
is the Bill Russell. He's got the rings, but he's just not as talented on the court. He's not the game changer that Mahomes was. And Mahomes is. Agree. And it's the same thing. By the way, Travis Kelce, washed. He sucked this year. He's back. Like they can't put the Chiefs. They can't put us away. That's the thing. They can't put the Chiefs away. I will say this about the 49ers, though. It's going to be a tough game, and they kind of remind me of the Chiefs back in the day when we won the Super Bowl. Right. The comeback Chiefs, they have been dead to rights against the 49ers, the Lions. They had that skid during the season where they just looked like they were down and depleted, and then lo and behold, they keep fighting, clawing, and coming back. Steve, if we beat the 49ers, it's got to be 4 complete quarters. Andy and the play calling and everything else cannot keep continually taking this weird second half dip in which they only seem to score for the first few drives and then they just sit on the ball for the rest of the game.
Right. The taking the foot off the gas in the second half cannot happen against San Francisco if they have a lead early. But I actually said that to the fellas at work yesterday, Mike. That San Francisco team reminds me of the Chiefs team in 2019. Where they're getting beat every game handily, and they come back and win because they don't quit. You took the words out of my mouth. You have to play a full 4 quarters of football against the San Francisco team. Andy cannot get stagnant in play calling in the second half. He cannot just accept 3 and outs and punting and relying on the defense. You cannot do that against this team. They're too stacked. They're too loaded. It's like you're basically playing a Pro Bowl freaking team, Mike. So they have to get out there. They have to score every opportunity they get. And they have to bring that same intensity they brought to the Ravens game. They have to bring the same intensity they brought to the Buffalo game. Right. You have to come out pissed off at the world, ready to show people who you are, smack them in the mouth, be relentless, and do not quit until that final, second runs off the clock.
Right. We heard yesterday that Charles Omenihu, he's brokenhearted. He is out with an ACL tear.
That does suck, dude.
It sucks for him. I hate it. That was a great acquisition by Brett Veach. Props Brett Veach. Brett Veach has done a lot of good on the defensive side of the ball in the offseason last year.
It's kind of a double whammy for him because not only does he not get to play in the Super Bowl, which is gut-wrenching, he's had a great year. Even with adversity, he had to sit out the first 6 games. He came in, played great. But not only did he help the Chiefs get to this point, he helped that team be where they're at too. He came from the San Francisco 49ers. He played excellent there last year.
He probably wanted to stick it to him a little bit.
Right. So, I mean, it does suck. But, I have faith in the guys that we do have and who's going to suit up and who's going to play. But shout out to Charles Omenihu for an excellent season. A big plus for the Chiefs.
Hey,
Great pickup by Veach.
Nice strip sack there versus Lamar Jackson against Baltimore.
Beautiful.
A big reason we beat Baltimore. By the way, we didn't just beat Baltimore. We beat Baltimore. I don't care what their fans think. I don't care what anybody says. The score doesn't prove that it was a beatdown. It was a complete ass whooping.
Hey,
the officials, look.
You right here. Look at me. Look at
me.
If you want to cry about officials in the Chiefs and Ravens game, the only thing you can cry about is the fact that the referees kept the Ravens from getting blown off the field. They took at least 9 points from the Chiefs and 2 possessions away from them on phantom crappy calls. Or
bad
no
call
calls.
Against Trey Smith. Bad call brings back a Rasheed Rice touchdown. Tripping on Chris Jones in the end zone should have been 2 points, and they would have punted the ball back to us. That probably would have given us good field position. And the way we were moving the ball, probably a Harrison Butker field goal. You just have to get it on our side of the field, and Butker's going to kick the crap out of it. So guess what? That right there in itself was 12 points you pulled off the board. The Chiefs would have absolutely slaughtered them, because if they would have been up by 14, 17 points there in the third quarter, the Ravens would have quit. And by the way, Lamar Jackson would have had to throw the ball more. That's not what you wanted, because you've seen triple coverage picks.
Right. I don't care what the score was. You never one time saw the Ravens in control of anything that game. The Chiefs dominated every facet of that game from front to back. It was never in question. It was never in doubt. And the Ravens never even looked like they were going to compete. That's just the sad truth for Ravens fans, and you have to accept it. I know you wanted to be bullies all year, and you were the big badass Ravens, but you got punched in the mouth in your own house, and you got beat down.
Right. Hey, our friends over at FOCO, we partner with FOCO. They're releasing a nice teddy bear Super Bowl edition of your favorite players. I see Pacheco. I see Rasheed Rice, Kelsey, Mahomes, Chris Jones. These bad boys are limited to only 72, so grab one of those. Ooh. They're also, in honor of Mahomes going back to the Super Bowl, have released a bobblehead of him winning it in the desert last year.
I like this one, baby.
This one's nice. 48 of those. So go down to the description, click our link, go over to FOCO, grab yourself something from them, and let them know All Chiefed Up sent you. Steve, guess what? Speaking of Super Bowl this time, we won the Super Bowl against the 49ers wearing the home team jerseys. And lo and behold, here we go, baby. They have unveiled the jersey. We will be the home team Reds. Look at these beauties.
So beautiful.
Where can we buy this bad boy? Look at that beautiful Ravens colored logo. We're representing the Ravens here in the AFC. You guys, we're going to win one for Lamar since he can't do it himself. How about that?
The script writers knew they screwed up. They're like, they're on to us. They figured out the logo thing. Switch it to the Taylor Swift team.
Get Taylor in there. She'll sway everything. Did these idiots forget that the Chiefs were awesome and dominating before Taylor Swift was even a thought?
I just can't.
She's the one that came over now.
Look, we already talked about this back at the beginning. Everyone just hates the Chiefs because the Chiefs are the Chiefs and the Chiefs are badass. That's why everybody hates
everybody
the Chiefs.
Can suck it. How about that?
They can suck it.
They can suck it. That's all I have for them today, Steve. They can just suck it.
Yeah, we appreciate you being here. Make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. And hey, go Chiefs for going back to the Super Bowl, baby.
We're going back to the Super Bowl. Go Chiefs.
See you next time.
Aside from my soul.